Chapter 12, The Cabinet Mission Plan and Jinnah. 1. Did Jinnah give up on Pakistan? After consistently advocating for the partition of India to create Pakistan since March 1940, Jinnah surprisingly accepted the Cabinet Mission Plan in 1946, which proposed a united but loosely federated India. In reality, Jinnah was left with no choice but to accept the Cabinet Mission Plan as a better option than a united India on Congress terms. Jinnah understood that his influential position during the war, where he partnered with Britain against the Congress independence movement, was diminishing. Speaking to the Associated Press of India on 20th of February 1946, Jinnah said he had seen the announcement that the cabinet mission would seek to promote a single constitution-making body and the formation of a representative political executive of the Governor-General as an interim arrangement. He said that the Muslim League was opposed to such ideas and remarked, "There cannot be and there is no room for compromise on the Pakistan demand of Muslims in India." 2. Cabinet mission arrives in India. The cabinet mission delegation engages in extensive discussions with Indian leaders, British officials, and regional representatives. When cabinet mission met Gandhi on 3rd of April, Gandhi said that Jinnah had never given a clear picture of what Pakistan would be like. Gandhi then suggested an interim government led by Jinnah with ministers of his choice, though this idea faced skepticism regarding its feasibility given the demographic realities. Next day, the cabinet mission met with Jinnah, who argued for the creation of Pakistan based on the fundamental conflict between Hindus and Muslims. Lord Pethick Lawrence replied that if Mr. Jinnah could not convince the delegation of the defensibility of Pakistan, he was rather driving the mission into the solution of handing over authority to a united India. In response, Jinnah agreed to a mutual defense pact between India and Pakistan and insisted on economically thriving Calcutta to be included in Pakistan despite its Hindu majority. Sikh leaders, including Master Tara Singh and Sardar Harnam Singh, met with the delegation on 5 April, opposing the partition of India. They proposed a separate Sikh state if partition occurred. Dr. Ambedkar expressed skepticism about the benefits of Pakistan for Muslims, especially those remaining in India. The Punjab Premier, Sir Khizr Tiwana, met the delegation the same day. Khizr said that British had committed grave blunders by not making Jinnah spell out or define Pakistan. He remarked, the Muslim League had liked to keep the idea of Pakistan vague so that every Muslim might interpret it as a sort of utopia where his own ambitions would be satisfied. At the elections, they had identified it with Islam, the Quran, and the Holy Prophet. At the same time, it must be admitted that the Pakistan idea, in which Mr. Jinnah himself had not believed 7 years ago, had now taken root among the educated classes. On 8th April, Bengal's Premier, Hussain Shahid Suhrawardi, met the delegation. He advocated for the inclusion of the entirety of Bengal and Assam in eastern Pakistan, arguing that Hindu and Muslim Bengalis shared language and culture. However, this reasoning was questioned by the delegation as it conflicted with Jinnah's insistence on the partition of India based on religion. Interestingly, Jinnah had contradicted his previous definition of a nation, and on 21st March 1946 stated that the Sikhs as a nation are entitled to a state of their own. Muslim leaders from Hindu-majority provinces, including II Chandigarh, Bombay, and Chaudhry Khalikuzaman, UP, presented the hostage theory, suggesting that Hindus in Pakistan would ensure the safety of Muslims in India. On 16th April, representatives of All India Muslim Parliamentary Board, All India Momin Conference, All India Arars, Nationalist Muslims, and All Parties Shia Conference, and other Muslim parties informed the delegation that they opposed Pakistan. On 18th April, Cripps found Jinnah dead set against any compromise on Pakistan, and only in the case of a treaty between Pakistan and Hindustan would he agree to common foreign and defense policies. Cripps added he was, however, firmly opposed to any legislature or executive, even on the basis of equal representation. Cripps also reported that he met Gandhi, who was willing to meet Jinnah, but thought it would solve nothing. 3. The Cabinet Mission Plan. 16 May 1946. The report highlighted the administrative, economic, and military drawbacks of partitioning India. noting the vulnerability of a geographically separated Pakistan and the complexities it would pose for the princely states' association with a divided India. It also stated that British paramountcy over princely states would end with India's independence, requiring new forms of cooperation. Cabinet Mission's plan proposed following groupings to maintain India's unity while providing a degree of autonomy to different regions based on their religious majorities and cultural affinities. Group A, Hindu-majority provinces, primarily in southern and eastern parts of British India. Group B, Muslim-majority, geographically contiguous provinces in the northwestern part of India. Group C, Muslim-majority provinces in the northeastern part of India, specifically Bengal and Assam. 4. Jinnah and Congress on Cabinet Mission Plan. On 22nd May, Jinnah criticized the plan since it divided Pakistan into two sections, B and C zones. Muslim League also wanted an explicit provision for Pakistan to secede from the Union after 10 years. The Congress, in a resolution of 24 May, rejected the proposal since it believed that an independent India must necessarily have a strong central authority capable of representing the nation with power and dignity in the councils of the world. The Sikh leader Master Tara Singh sent a letter dated 25 May to the Secretary of State saying, "The Sikhs have been entirely thrown at the mercy of the Muslims. If the British government is not aware of the Sikh feelings, the Sikhs will have to resort to some measures in order to convince everybody of the Sikh anxiety in case they are subjected to a perpetual Muslim domination." Jinnah's speech at AIML Council on 6 June included, "I cannot advise you to reject the Cabinet Mission's proposal. I advise you to accept it. The Lahore resolution did not mean that when Muslims put forward their demand, it must be accepted at once. Acceptance of the mission's proposals was not the end of their struggle for Pakistan. They should continue their struggle till Pakistan was achieved." He went on to say that the struggle to create Pakistan would continue, and if anything was done against their wishes, they would create a deadlock in the Constituent Assembly. Jinnah had been obliquely warned on April 4, 1946 by the delegation that unless he could convince them about the defensibility of Pakistan, it could think of handing over power to a united India. That had elicited positive responses from him to the idea of a defense pact with India and consultation on foreign affairs. However, Jinnah maintained a defiant and uncompromising facade, sticking to his demand for partition to create Pakistan until 5th June. His diametrically opposite advice on 6th June to the Muslim League Council to accept the Cabinet Mission Plan shows that he understood that his ability to bargain to get a deal on his terms had been severely limited. The war was over, and so was his role as the most important man in Asia. The British would leave India on their terms, and he'd better accept that. 5. Interim government. Wavell met Gandhi on 11 June 1946 and told him that it would be impossible for Jinnah to relent on his demand for parity, though Wavell agreed that it was illogical because there were 19 million Hindus and only 9 million Muslims. Gandhi and Nehru were open to forming a coalition, but Jinnah insisted on Muslim League parity and was reluctant to meet Nehru without Congress accepting the Cabinet Mission Plan. Wavell issued invitations to join the interim government, aiming for a balanced representation. Jinnah objected to non-Muslim League Muslims being included and insisting on certain assurances for the Muslim League. Gandhi maintained that the Congress had the right to nominate a Muslim, creating a deadlock. In June 1946, during the Cabinet Mission's discussions, there was debate over whether Jinnah should be invited to form the government if the Congress Party refused to participate. Cripps supported the idea while Wavell was hesitant to give Jinnah full control, preferring to maintain his own authority over the interim government's formation. The Congress Party, led by Gandhi and Azad, rejected the proposal to form an interim government under the terms set by Wavell, insisting on their right to nominate a Muslim member and opposing any arrangement that suggested artificial parity or a communal veto. However, they agreed to participate in the Constituent Assembly to frame the Constitution for a free, united, and democratic India. Having waited for the decision of the Congress, the Muslim League Working Committee accepted the Cabinet Mission Plan on 25th June. However, Jinnah refused to include a Congress Muslim in the interim government and insisted that the Muslim League should be asked to form the government. On June 27th, Jinnah released a statement detailing the concessions he made during negotiations. He rejected the notion of Congress being a non-communal party, insisting that the Muslim League should have been invited to form the interim government. Jinnah later released secret communications with Wavell, highlighting their disagreements and his insistence that the Muslim League be allowed to form the government if the Congress refused to join. He accused the cabinet mission and viceroy of not adhering to their word and criticized them for not implementing the June 16th statement as agreed. In a letter to King George VI, Wavell expressed frustration with Gandhi's insistence on Congress nominating a Muslim member and Jinnah's intransigence. Wavell's assessment depicted Gandhi as the main obstacle from the British perspective. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel and social media and support at Patreon. Thank you.